We've covered a lot of ground so far. We've talked about truth as something alive, something we perceive, something we grow into, something shaped by correction, something that moves across cultures, wakes up in our awareness, invites our participation, speaks through listening, and resists being treated as perfect and finished. Now we come to another realization. There is no final finish line when it comes to truth. That might sound unsettling at first. We often imagine that one day we'll finally arrive, that moment when everything makes total sense and no more questions remain. But history tells us a different story. Every generation has believed it was close to complete certainty. And then the next generation came along and saw things more clearly, corrected some ideas, and deepened others. This doesn't mean truth itself is unstable or unreliable. It means our understanding of truth stays open and keeps growing. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus captured this with his famous image. You can't step into the same river twice. The river is always flowing, and so are you. That means every encounter with reality is fresh. You're not the same person you were yesterday. The world isn't exactly the same either. So understanding keeps renewing itself as life keeps moving. The Hebrew wisdom tradition says something similar in a more practical way. The books of Proverbs and the prophetic writings don't present knowledge as something you grab once and for all. They talk about seeking, listening, and discerning over time. Understanding is described more like a lifelong path than a final possession. Later Jewish interpretation continued this pattern, constantly revisiting and reinterpreting earlier teachings as new situations arose. In the sayings attributed to the Rabbi Yeshua from Galilee, a Nazarene, you see the same spirit. When he says, "Seek and you will find, knock and it will be open." The emphasis is not on ongoing seeking, not on finishing the search. The door keeps opening as long as the person keeps knocking. Inquiry isn't shut down, it's encouraged to continue. Buddhist teaching also avoids the idea of final conceptual endpoint. Awakening isn't described as a single moment where everything is permanently solved. It's something that keeps being cultivated, deepened, and lived out over time. Insight grows as awareness grows. In Taoist philosophy, often linked to Laozi, the Tao Te Ching opens with a striking idea. The ultimate way can't be fully captured in words. That means every explanation we give is always partial. Words help, but they never finish the job. They point toward reality, but they don't exhaust it. So across very different traditions, we see a shared insight. Human understanding unfolds continuously. No generation, no philosophy, and no individual completely finishes the journey of knowing reality. When we accept that there is no finish line, humility naturally flows. We can still hold strong convictions, but we also stay aware that future insight might refine what we believe today. That doesn't weaken commitment. It actually makes it more honest. We act on what we currently understand while staying open to learning more. You can see this clearly in history. Philosophical ideas are debated, corrected, and expanded over centuries. Ethical views evolve as societies slowly recognize forms of dignity and justice that were once overlooked. Science constantly updates its models as new evidence appears. In all these cases, truth isn't being replaced every time, it's being clarified. The same process happens in personal life. Things you believed with total confidence as a teenager may look different once you've lived more, suffered more, and learned more. Early experiences get reinterpreted. Old memories gain new meaning. What once felt obvious becomes more nuanced. Each stage of life adds another layer of understanding. The idea of a final finish line is comforting. It promises an end to doubt and uncertainty. But real life doesn't really work that way. Every answer opens new questions. Every discovery reveals deeper mysteries. That's not a sign that search is failing. It's a sign that the search is alive. Seeing truth as an ongoing journey also changes how we relate to traditions. Instead of treating sacred texts, philosophies, or teachings as frozen containers of final answers, we can see them as voices in a long conversation across centuries. They hand down wisdom, but they also invite new reflection in new circumstances. Our role becomes stewardship, honoring what we received while allowing it to speak meaningfully in our own time. This perspective helps us avoid two extremes. On one side is rigid absolutism, the claim that we already have complete and final truth. On the other side is careless relativism, the idea that nothing is really true at all. Between these extremes is a more balanced path. Truth is real and worth committing to, but our understanding of it keeps growing. In community life, this realization encourages patience. When people disagree, it doesn't automatically mean one side has abandoned truth. It may simply mean they are engaging with the same reality from a different angle or a different stage of understanding. Dialogue then becomes a way of refining insight together rather than fighting to declare a final winner. At a deeper level, recognizing that truth has no finish line connects to another intuition. Reality itself is inexhaustible. No matter how much we learn, there is always more to discover. Each layer of understanding reveals another layer beyond it. That doesn't destroy confidence, it replaces confidence inside humility. So where does that leave us? It means we are living inside an ongoing process. Truth remains alive. We encounter it through perception, refine it through correction, carry it across cultures and generations, and keep rediscovering it as awareness grows. Learning doesn't stop because life doesn't stop. The goal then isn't to reach some final point where all questions disappear. The goal is to stay attentive on the journey. Each new insight becomes another step. Each correction becomes a refinement. Each encounter becomes an opening. Truth doesn't conclude. It keeps calling, challenging, and illuminating. And once we accept that there is no final finish line, we realize that this endless horizon is not a problem. It's what keeps the search for truth honest, humble, and fully alive.